Hi, g'day, my name is Aaron. I'm going to show you a little bit of an orchard tour. It's 3.5 years old. Some things are quite young, but some things are coming into maturity. And every couple of months, I'm trying to do a walkthrough just so that I can look back and see the growth over all the different seasons. It's one of the most rewarding things in my life, and I'm keen to share it with you. Behind me here, I have the first durian row, and I'll see if I've got some photos or videos from the first day that this was planted in the ground when they were all knee high. But they've come a very long way for anyone who's watched some of the first videos. These are all grafted durians behind me, and then I've got a couple of seedlings. I've only recently started taking the tops out of some of the big ones to promote growth through these branches so that they can like lignify and become stronger and hopefully be able to get flowers and then fruit set in the next 2 or 3 years. Pretty special day when the durians start setting fruit. I think the whole of Australia will hear it. I'll be yelling that loud. We've just harvested a lot of ginger and turmeric. We sell them at our farmers market. We do at The Pocket, which is a cafe we've got here in Northern Australia. It's on the edge of the highway. You can't miss it if you're driving on the northeastern coast of Australia. It's called The Pocket Cafe. Link to it is in the description, so please come and say g'day. Yeah, so ginger, turmeric, chilies. We've got a lot of different types of basil that we've intercropped between the durians. This is a Thai basil, but we've found we're coming through and just taking these flowers off. Geez, that smells good. Smell that? It's nice,
yeah, it smells so good.
So we're using this in a lot of different dishes, particularly Vietnamese style broths. So any broths that we're making, bone broths, we're throwing a lot of this in. But yeah, we come through, take all the flowers off, and we're finding that's keeping it alive. As you'll see, there's also pawpaws or papaya intercropped between a lot of the rows. This has been a really good one because I find that we're getting a lot of fruit on them, plus they're taking they're being a little bit sacrificial where insects are chewing on the leaves as opposed to some of the other longer term tree crops. And yeah, they're just bloody tasty, and eating them almost every morning for breakfast. I'm really excited about the jackfruits and chempedaks we have on, so I'm going to show you them. This is the jackfruit tree that I'm most excited about. It's a variety from Malaysia, and it was a seedling that we planted 2.5 years ago. We got its first fruit last year. It was unbelievable, and this is the second year of fruit. Like, come and have a good look in there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I don't know, there's a hell of a lot of fruit, and it's still pushing out more. But yeah, really hoping that this ends up being like a really good crop. It's shaping up, so super excited about that. Behind me here is a yellow sapote or canistel or egg fruit, and this one is absolutely loaded. I'm gonna have to actually take the top off it, but it's pretty much all year round producing fruit. As you can see here, this one isn't ripe yet, but they'll go yellow and then be like the texture of the yellow in a boiled egg. That's sort of like the texture, but yeah, they're absolutely beautiful, and is pumping now that I've fenced off these few trees. And we've got quark and the quarkettes, as we call them. There are 6 ducks who will go in and say hello to. Hey Quark, how you going? Come through here, we'll go see the ducks. So we've just walked under an abiu. This is that Ross sapote. They're all pretty densely planted, so I need to prune them quite a bit. This is the mangosteen, which is the biggest we have. Hey, hello. Behind me here, we've got a yellow cherry tomato bush. This thing is pumping out fruit. Unbelievably sweet. Are you in trouble? Yeah. Unbelievably sweet. And it's getting fertilized by all the ducks living in here. So since we've put them in, the trees have noticeably become healthier. And the cherry tomato, which responds very quickly, is literally exploded. Like, there's kilos of cherry tomatoes on here. They'll all ripen up in the next week or so. And behind me here is a chempedak tree. So a chempedak, how do I describe a chempedak? It's like the cousin of a jackfruit, if you're not familiar with it. If you've traveled through Southeast Asia, you would have seen them in like big trucks or like laid out on tarps in marketplaces, and people go absolutely crazy for them. They don't generally have like the sap that jackfruit do, and yeah, they're just like, they're wonderful. They're incredibly tasty. Lots of different flavor profiles of them. But this one here behind me is called a twisted chempedak, and it's from a seedling that I got off a mate maybe yeah, around 3.5 years ago. And this was one of the first trees I planted, and it's starting to get fruit. So I got like 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there's like a handful of fruit on it, and a lot more to come, hopefully. But yeah, the ducks are doing an amazing job at keeping the Chempadax healthy. Stay tuned for ripe Chempadax. So here's this winter's garden beds behind me. We just got like a couple of cubic meters of potting mix, and then we just got, 4 like timber sleepers, like fence posts, and then just put them down on the ground. We put underneath fish frames and a lot of organic matter, and then put the potting mix over the top, and yeah, gave it a couple of weeks to try and like break down and build up the soil. And then yeah, for the last, geez, what has it been? 6 to 8 weeks have just been eating like organic, beautiful herbs, vegetables, leafy greens. Yeah, just really nice. Yeah, a lot of bok choy, pak choy, different tomatoes, different types of chilies, kale, spinach, edible flowers, a lot of different other types of tomatoes. As you can see behind here on the vine, there's shallots and different basils, and yeah, all sorts of stuff. Yeah, it's super rewarding. I haven't been to Coles or Woolworths, which here in Australia is the major food chains, in 10 weeks. Yeah, getting there. Behind me is a mango tree that's 2 years old. It flowered so heavily, one of the heaviest flowerings that I've ever seen. But about a week or two after that, wind, rain, and now I think there might be 1 or 2 mangoes that have set on probably 5,000 flowers. A little bit disappointing, but that's farming. So mangoes to be continued. Behind me is an abiu, which is planted amongst some jaboticabas, which we've been eating a lot of, and a couple of probably 3-4-year-old, I haven't been here 4 years, 3.5-year-old durian trees. But this abiu is the most loaded with fruit that I've ever seen in my life. It's like the tree and the branches are like bending over with the weight of the fruit. So you see behind me here, if you get a close look, like it is just covered in all these like green round shaped fruit, and they'll go like a golden yellow. And as you can see, there's like more coming on here, and on the, see if you can see this, on the branches, they're starting to flower again. I've probably planted 12, 13, 14 abius, and like the whole point is that, you know, we've done them all from seed, and they're not going to be true to the mother tree. They may be worse, they may be better, but if we can find a variety that is ever-bearing, minimal seeds, minimal seeds in it, super tasty, then that could potentially be a commercial variety, or just an improved variety for people to enjoy of this particular type of fruit. Yeah, super excited for this one, and this one's going to be ripe in, I don't know, maybe 3-4 days. Yeah, abiu. I'm excited. All right, we'll take a quick look in the greenhouse. We've got some grafted durians, we've got marcots of rambutans and pulisans, and some king ferns and some other natives. We've been planting a lot of natives down along the creek bed for the cassowaries, because we've had Charlie, the cassowary that's been here for the last 2 years, has fathered 2 chicks. And so he's walking around with these tiny little baby cassowaries. So we're trying to just support the environment by planting a lot of native fruiting plants, so that it can support cassowaries and all the other different animals that live in the rainforest here. But it's probably like 20-30% mix of natives, and then the rest is like other tropical fruit that we're propagating. Brother Jack has done an amazing job at doing some approach grafts of durian, and we've been planting out a few of those. If we do have spare, we can let you guys know and sell a couple, but they're pretty hard to part with. They're not easy to do. This is the other 13 abiu, and it's quite interesting because all of the seeds this came from were similar, like very similar fruit. but they all have such different characteristics, slightly different tastes, different growing patterns. Some are setting fruit really well, some aren't, some are flowering now, some aren't. The birds are going crazy. So yeah, it's like every time you come out, every week, every season, it's just, yeah, cool to observe the different growing patterns of the same type of fruit, but the different varieties within that fruit. I don't know if anyone else gets off to that stuff, but I do. This is one of the soursop trees that are fruiting, and we've had to bag them. Like that's, I don't know, probably 1.5 kilos, but it's got a lot more to grow, and there's a few smaller ones coming into fruition. So hoping to get a good feed of soursop, because they've been really challenging to grow. They've been getting stung at the flower stage and they're not setting fruit. The yellow pawpaws are going really well. We've got like an endless supply of yellow pawpaws. Probably like 7 yellows and 1 or 2 reds. But yeah, we're trying to every 6 months plant a few more, because we're getting about 2 years out of them, and then they're cutting down, and then by then the others have grown. So we've got a row of bananas and a row of pawpaws. So we were sick of competing with weeds in between all of the fruit trees, so we started planting like water spinach and pumpkins. And how we go at that? Oh no, I picked it. Jack's gonna be angry at me. We're meant to leave it a few more days, but this will still be fine. We've got a few different varieties of pumpkins that we're growing now, and we've been failures at growing pumpkins up until now. So this is pretty special. PB pumpkin, 3 kilos. So we've got a sapodilla cutting behind me here, and the stock that it came from was close to ever bearing, so there'd just be always flowers and always fruit pretty much the whole time of the year. This one is maybe 1.5 years old, and it's just started flowering for the first time, so I'm really hoping to set fruit on it. But it's been a super wet year, so I'm not sure if that's going to affect things, but I'm hopeful. We've been throwing like goat manure, cow manure, fish frames, cray heads. Like, we're giving it a lot of food. Hopefully that helps. Pretty much every banana plant has a bunch on it at the moment, and maybe in a week's time or so, week or two, I'll come in and put a bag over them. You see there's some plastic bags hanging behind me, and yeah, now that it's starting to warm up, bananas will fill out, and yeah, we should have a consistent supply of fresh bananas from now on, which is always a good thing. These are the first 2 durian that I planted when we got the place, and yeah, planted them about 4.5 meters apart, and they're doing the best out of any that I've planted, and I've given them the least amount of love. Well, I've done it as a trial where all we've put on them is like animal carcasses or fish frames, or you know, like things that we've hunted, any of the scraps we've thrown on here. I'll show you what I mean. There's a lobster head from a few weeks ago. See, that slowly breaks down. Ooh, that smells ripe. That'll slowly break down, go into the surface roots, which durian have a lot of, and yeah, whatever it's doing to the soil is working. Couple more years, durian party. It's about 6 p.m. now, and I want to give you more of a tour of the animals and the cafe and a few new things that have changed here on the property, but that's going to have to wait till the morning, so I'll see you soon. Hey, good morning. I thought we'd just show you a few of the new additions to the animals over here at the cafe. We've got 3 miniature goats. This big Azzy boy. This is Big Azzy boy, who was named after me because we got him on my birthday. He's all hand raised. They're very, very beautiful. And Helga, come here Helga. Helga here is about to have her first babies. She's pretty heavily pregnant. A little stable behind us here, which they all love hanging out. And we've been giving them a lot of food from the garden. So anytime that we're trimming back the like the scrub line or taking out heliconias or banana leaves, then yeah, that's coming over here, and they really love eating on like a variety of different leaves. We're trying to make their diet as diverse as possible. It's so cute. And other than that, the buffalo are doing really well. We're selling a handful of them next week because we're about to have more buffalo, more baby buffalo calves. And we're selling a few cows as well. But yeah, if there's anyone out there watching that does ever want to like buy a buffalo or cows from us, we quite often have some for sale. So let us know in the comments or contact the shop. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed a bit of a tour. It's been 3.5 years of the orchard, the journey to self-sufficiency, slowly getting there. It's super rewarding, takes a hell of a lot of time and effort and energy, but fortunately, yeah, we really do enjoy doing it. We love it, and long term, I think it's definitely the go, knowing where your food comes from. Let us know if you've got any questions in the comments, and I'll catch you later. Hey, Shady.